10 years into the business, and the customer furniture maker Wooden Street has left its older peers far behind. If you ask the company's founder and chief executive, Lokendra Singh Ranawat, he will tell you that the company's fortunes changed during the COVID 19 pandemic. In his words, people went a little crazy back then. Suddenly, everybody was a Pinterest inspired interior designer. He noticed that they were all constantly thinking of new ways to spruce up and upgrade different parts of their homes from their bedrooms to their balconies. And it is that newfound obsession with home improvement that proved to be the wind beneath Wooden Street's wings. You see, what sets Wooden Street apart from its peers is something that it calls the Goldilocks zone. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with the age old fairy tale about a little girl who arrives at the family home of three bears and keeps looking for just the right thing to eat, just the right place to sit, and the right bed to lay down on. Wooden Street's approach to customization draws from that little girl's experience in a sense, because they don't want to offer too much or too little customization, but just the right amount. So they allow their customers to play around with design, fabric, color, and paint in a way that most of their peers don't. But at the same time, it won't let you alter things like dimensions. And this customization strategy has really worked for it over the years. Within 2 years into the pandemic, the company's top line nearly quadrupled to over 130 crore rupees. It is also claimed to have closed the 2024 financial year with a revenue of 340 crores. The company has also managed to attract global investors, including the likes of Premji Invest. In December 2024, Wooden Street raised a little over 350 crore rupees in a Series C round, which happens to be the largest investments into India's home and furniture segment in many, many years. This is even more impressive when you consider the state of the Indian furniture market today. Let me put it this way. This particular sector is a lot like a stubborn piece of hardwood. It is difficult to work with and even more difficult to shape into a successful business model. Which is why most of the early movers, the likes of Pepperfry and Urban Ladder, have struggled to grow beyond a point. In contrast, by limiting customization to the visible and tactile elements and standardizing the invisible stuff, Wooden Street has managed to nail a growth formula that eludes most of its competitors. But that does not change the fact that this is a tough business, and scaling it beyond a point is very difficult. It also does not help that there is another Goldilocks in town: IKEA. Welcome to Daybreak, a business podcast from the Ken. I'm your host Snigdha Sharma, and I don't chase the news cycle. Instead, every day of the week, my colleague Rahil Philippos and I will come to you with one business story that is worth understanding and worth your time. Today is Thursday, the 27th of February. Wooden Street's furniture outlets are like any other store. Everywhere you look, you're greeted by beds, sofas, coffee tables, the works. The catch is, you can't actually buy any of it. The company does not sell any of its display pieces. And yet, nearly 80% of its sales happens through offline channels. The idea is for customers to get a closer look at the product in the store and then customize it as required. For example, if you want to add a drawer or a wardrobe or say even a specific kind of fabric to the sofa, Wooden Street will source the material for you and then make the furniture. But there is a line beyond which the company does not venture. Shrikant Iyer, the co-founder and CEO of HomeLane, a Bangalore-based home interior and renovation platform, put it quite well. He said trying to accommodate all of the customers' requests is like running a fine dining restaurant. There are a lot of options to choose from, and the chef cooks the food the way a customer wants it, no matter the time and the money that it takes. Iyer explained that is why customization often is the enemy of scaling one's business. He would know, because he learned that lesson the hard way. Homelane took the full customization route when it launched in 2014. It completely renovated apartments and even customized TV sets and other furniture. Soon, the company realized that it needs to strike a balance between personalization and scalability. Unfortunately, this only happened after it reported over 70% of losses in the financial year 2017 and 18. That also explains why Pepperfry does not offer customization other than perhaps colors in certain cases. It is satisfied being just a marketplace. Even Urban Ladder has opted out of that model. But companies that actually still follow that model strongly believe in it. Take IKEA for example. Susan Palverer, the CEO and Chief Sustainability Officer at IKEA India, said that the idea works when implemented in a limited variety. She said that is the key to scaling a furniture business in India. And that belief is shared by Wooden Street. And the fact that it has a team of designers and an in house manufacturing facility is just the cherry on top. More on this in the next segment. Hi, Daybreak listener. I'm Snigdha, the co host of this podcast. Are you enjoying this episode so far? If you are, then could you please spare a few seconds to rate Daybreak on your preferred streaming platform, Apple or Spotify, and also please hit follow? We've been trying really hard to beat the algorithm gods, and a little help from you will really, really go a long way and help our podcast grow. Thank you in advance, and now back to Rahil. In its early days, Wooden Street was partnering up with several artisan factories and selling their products online. But somewhere down the line, they realized that this would not work. For starters, the segment was complex and lacked any organization. But on top of that, the company was working with thousands of individuals with varying quality standards. And that is when it decided to set up a research and development unit in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Today, it serves both as a quality control center and an innovation hub, allowing Wooden Street to standardize its products. Spread over 1.5 million square feet of area, the unit supplies furniture to over 20 warehouses that the company has across the country. The biggest advantage is that now, this way, it has absolute control over wastage and inventory. So, something as simple as extra wood that is left over from making a coffee table can be used to make some sofa legs. The people taking these calls are the designers. The company has a solid team of 30 designers who sit in the Jaipur head office. Their job is to predict trends and design furniture. And they make it possible for Wooden Street to add 30 to 40% new products to its catalog every 3 to 4 months. Most other furniture companies like Pepperfry don't make all their furniture in house. Instead, they have a combination of in house and external vendors. But that comes at a cost. For instance, if you're trying to sell a teak colored bed and matching side table, it becomes hard to match the two if they are being made in two different factories. Another big reason for this is also because this particular sector isn't the most tech forward. Ranawat, the founder of Wooden Street, explained to us that the Indian furniture manufacturing sector is lagging in investments into modern automated machinery. But Wooden Street has consistently been breaking all the rules. It is clear that it is in it for the long haul and it is expecting some big returns. Stay tuned. Of late, Wooden Street has been on a mission to expand its brick and mortar stores. At present, it has over 100 experienced stores nationwide, and the largest one is in east of Bangalore and is 7,000 square feet in size. And now it is planning to open even larger stores. The founder Ranawat claims that people are going to realize that his company is even better than IKEA. The store size is a central part of his plan. He believes that bigger, in the furniture market case at least, is indeed better. Having stores that are about 800 to 1000 square feet is just not enough. But it is important for there to be more space for people to touch and feel products. But more square footage comes at a premium, especially considering how, on average, renting a 1000 feet square space in a prime location in Bangalore can cost at least 60,000 rupees a month. And this is why most of its competition cannot beat it in terms of store size. Even IKEA, with its huge warehouse style walk around stores, has suffered, which is why the company is now looking to invest into smaller size stores across the country. But that does not solve all of its problems either. Because with small stores, while the rent is lower, you are not able to display all your products. Also, it ruins the shopping experience very often. Another problem area is logistics. Most of the time, a product gets damaged during transit. It is here that IKEA's concept of replaceable furniture takes precedence. The company's strategy, its CEO said, aligns with the wants of Gen Z and millennials. You see, here's the thing. At least 3 out of the 4 companies that the Ken spoke to foresee a future where furniture will sell a lot like fast fashion. This is because of a confluence of factors: increased competition, rising material costs, and shorter product lifespans. But Wooden Street's Ranawat is clear that the best way to disrupt this particular industry is not by reshaping it entirely, but rather by sanding down the rough edges while preserving what works.
Daybreak is produced from the newsroom of the Ken, India's first subscriber-focused business news platform. What you're listening to is just a small sample of our subscriber-only offerings. A full subscription unlocks daily long-form feature stories, newsletters, and podcast extras. To subscribe, head to theken.com and click on the red subscribe button on top of the Ken website. Today's episode was hosted by Snigdha Sharma and edited by Rajiv CN.